What is happening, everybody? I'm in my garage. I know hopefully the light is okay with the with just the light on the phone. I wanted to make a small video with telling about one of the parts that held up exceptionally well with my accident with my 94 here. I had an accident. A lot of you know, but I had an accident. I totaled my 94. I was doing about 70 on the highway, and basically just fell asleep at the wheel and drifted over onto the shoulder, hit a parked car on the shoulder, and rolled this thing 5 times and landed on the roof off into the grass. And through all that violent rolling, the one thing that I was kind of thinking about is how did everything hold up under the hood. So I put a JCR battery tray in this truck, and I was always wondering, like in the back of my mind, how did my JCR battery tray hold up over that violent 5 roll that this thing took? And that's a lot. I mean, seriously, think about that for a second, how much violence that took, like with this truck rolling on the highway at 5 rolls. That's a lot. And the battery tray held up exactly where it is right here. Everything is intact. I mean, I think it bent this a little bit. My wrench. I think it bent this up a little bit. You know, there's a little gap there, but this bend here is just from the radiator support pushing this way. And the one thing that I would suggest to Cherokee owners, if you put any type of aftermarket battery, or if you have a stock battery tray, do yourself a favor and leave this intact, or put this stock tab that bolts. This is a stock tab that comes on Cherokees. It bolts onto the radiator support, and the other end of it bolts onto the battery tray right here. Okay, I would highly suggest you leave that intact or add that in to your battery tray, whether it be aftermarket or a stock tray, because I seriously think that saved this whole battery tray from being intact, totally intact. And it's pretty solid. This thing doesn't move at all. And you know, it's the stock anchors that come with the JCR battery trays, the rods that go all the way down. You know, it bolts on. There's 3 bolts on the bottom of the battery tray that bolted onto the truck. That's all intact. Like I said, just from the radiator support bending this way, it bent this arm right here up a little bit. I don't know if you can see that. There's a little gap right there. It's the only thing wrong with this. Otherwise, it held up exceptionally well. Even my rat's nest of a wiring that I have, which is amazing. It actually held up. The wiring held up. Nothing got misplaced. Nothing got thrown around. And that's from a bad direct hit too, to this corner. This corner of the truck took a really bad direct hit. So the battery tray held up exceptionally well, and I just wanted to make a video with a huge shout out to JCR for making the most, I wouldn't say indestructible, to making the strongest battery tray that you can possibly put in a Cherokee without making one yourself out of like 1/2-inch thick steel. This by far is the strongest battery tray you can put in a truck, and I've proven that point through my accident, that battery tray held up absolutely fine. And right now, this battery tray held up so good, and I've kept the battery in where it's supposed to be. This truck starts up and runs absolutely fine right now, which is absolutely insane, because the front took a massive hit. You know, the front of this truck, especially this corner of the truck, took just an absolute massive hit. This front here hit the car first. My bumper hit the car first, and then this part of the front bumper by the headlight took a massive hit. And for that battery tray to hold up as good as it did, you know, my hat's off to JCR for making a killer battery tray, killer strong battery tray. It's $100, this battery tray, and I honestly would have spent $500 on that battery tray. This battery tray is worth $100 all day long. This is the number one the number one thing that I really appreciated of buying for this truck is this battery tray, and tying it into the frame and making your battery the strongest thing possible. Because when you get into an accident and that battery flies around, starts sparking and causes a fire, you're gonna wish you had something like this strong in your truck. So I just wanted to make that video real quick. Huge shout out to JCR for making the strongest battery tray that I can think of. I'm sure there's a lot of companies that make a lot of strong battery trays for an XJ, but JCR has got my business, definitely, by far. So anyway, I'll see you guys. I'm gonna have another video up pretty soon. I'm gonna make a little small video of an update that I have with my my 98. So you guys have a great day. And get them JCR battery trays in your XJ.